things we say. We would take them back if we could. Sweep up the old discarded words. Sweep them up from the floor. Get rid of them and dump them into the trash where they belong. But there's no retrieving them. Once spoken, the words are right out there forever. Just like these words are being recorded on this videotape. I remember the first time I had a speech videotaped. I was in JC's, so that's the Junior Chamber of Commerce, and obviously I was a young man. And I won a speech contest, and they had me give their speech on television. So it was just myself and the cameraman. It's tough to give a speech to one guy with a camera. Nobody reacts, nobody laughs, nobody applauds, nothing. When I saw a copy of that videotape, I was absolutely disgusted. Because I was blinking all the time. Do I still do that? Yeah. It must have been a nervous reaction. I was just blinking away. But the words do go out there. We try to explain those words. I didn't really mean that, I said. That's not really how I feel. That's not me. We try to excuse ourselves. We were just tired. We were just frustrated. That's all. We're really not that way. Thus we object to the sayings of Jesus. One speaks out of the abundance of the heart. No, we don't speak out of the abundance or poverty of our hearts. It's never that simple. The saying of Jesus judges every one of us and finds us all wanting. And so we are glad to join together in an alliance of the guilty to accuse each other. They're only words, we say. He didn't really mean it. He was just talking. She really didn't mean to say it that way. It was just something she said, as if our speaking was not related to our character. We're in this together, all of us. It's like being in a line. If you go to the grocery store, if you go to the bank, you always try, at least I do, to find the shortest line. Then I get in the shortest line, and that's the line where there's somebody up front that has more business to do than anybody else. And so all the other lines move faster. What do? I get angry at the other people in line. Why? They're in line too. That's my problem. We're all in this together. In Sweetwater, Texas, they have their annual rattlesnake roundup. The world's largest, they say. Every year during the second weekend in March, they round up the rattlesnakes. Did you know that? How many of you have been there? Ever had rattlesnake stew? Every year they fry up about 4,000 pounds of rattlesnake meat. Every year they crown a Miss Snake Charmer queen. And every year the television station in Midland sends a crew to film the celebrations of the rattlesnake roundup. And you need to understand that Midlanders are generally considered to be the city slickers of West Texas. Being from Midland is almost as bad as being from Dallas. But not quite. So the rattlesnake wranglers of Sweetwater enjoy putting on the big city folks. The television cameras show up and they show a cowboy milking a rattlesnake. You know what that means? That is draining the venom from the fangs to make the rattlesnake serum for hospital emergency rooms. And the snake that he was milking when I saw this on TV was a large snake. I can't say how long that snake was because he was coiled around the rattlesnake handler's arm. And this guy had big, thick arms, but the snake's body was thicker than his arm. When he finished milking the snake, he turned to the camera and the reporter and he said, "See, he's all milked out now. He can't hurt you none. The camera came in real close on the rattlesnake's head. The long fangs, the dark, silent eyes. The face as broad and flat as your hand. He can't hurt you none. But no one who was watching television at that moment believed him, because that rattlesnake looked mean. And given a little bit of time, he could hurt you again. Think of the words we say every Sunday. Every Sunday we pass the peace. We did this morning. Peace be with you. And you, we say. And how much do we really mean that? Sure, we all want peace. But how many of us believe that our troops in Afghanistan are a just cause? How many of us think that it is good that the United States of America is the most powerful nation on earth in the world? How many of us would say, peace be with you, when accosted on a city street? How many of us would defend our wallets? I have a friend, Roland Moss. He lived in Miami, and he was visiting me when we lived in Tennessee. He flew home one night back to Miami International Airport. It was really quite late, and he was a runner. So he had parked his car a distance away to save money. He chose to run for his car. And while running, a man jumped out in front of him and demanded his wallet. My friend refused, but the man grabbed his wallet and ran off. But Roland was a runner, remember, and he wasn't going to let that happen, so he ran after the guy and he caught him, brought him to the ground. They had a bitter fight. Roland got his wallet back. But then after this was all done, he realized he better check into the hospital because he had bruises and lacerations, and he was not a happy guy. So he went to the hospital emergency room, and to repair him cost over $500, more than what he had in his wallet. What if Roland had said, peace be with you, and handed the guy his wallet? Well, maybe the guy would have demanded more. Maybe he would have hit Roland anyway. But maybe the words would have resounded with him at some time later. And maybe those words would have made a difference in the robber's life. Like the pebble cast